Hi guys, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good day everybody. My name's Albert Tam from Download Silo. I'm looking at the live chat now and I see Justin and can see Uli from Bangkok. So how are you guys? So Justin, you asked this should be a good one. Yes, this should be a good one. And Uli, you're asking, am I logged in correctly? Yes, you are viewing from I see is a YouTube channel, and that's good. So before we start, we are waiting for James to come on the stream. So just wait for a few moments, and I think we have more people coming in. So guys, if you go to the Facebook group, if anybody asks where is the stream, just direct them to the right destination. Either you watch from the YouTube channel or maybe from the Facebook download silo page. So because I do not want to stream directly to Facebook group because I cannot see any comment in the Facebook group because of Facebook algorithm that do not want to show any comment. I mean in the Facebook group to the live stream. So guys, I will hope that everybody will have a good what I call presentation today by James. And I personally have tested this a few times with James as well as some other people, and also with Valentine, our moderator, and also have a few meetings with other people as well, and it worked perfectly well. So hopefully this is one of the good what I call not a webinar software, but rather video meeting software. I would say this is something like Google Meet, Zoom, or maybe Microsoft Teams. So I'm using a lot of Google Meets nowadays, but last time I used to use a lot of Zoom, but no more. So I find that Google Meet is better in that sense because it's cheaper. And also, is it part of this Google Workspace? No, I have subscribed to Google Workspace, so there's no issue of that. So I'm still waiting for James to come on board. Yeah, James, how are you? I see you now.
Hi, Albert. Thank you for having me. Excited to
Yes.
be on your show, and excited to share with everyone who has questions or like inquiries about our product and how we can help make meetings better.
Okay, that's good. So before we actually start the what you call the webinar proper, I will do some housekeeping with those audience first. So guys, as usual, you have to comment, what you call, give feedback, ask question, in order to win the five giveaway, which will be announced at the end of this webinar. And you know the drill. And the more your question, the more you ask, the more you comment, the chances is even higher for you to win. So sometimes it's going to win by what I call a random draw. Sometimes you will choose personally. So it depends. So let's see how it goes. And before we start, I would like to ask some warming up question for James because this is first time James coming live with us, and you guys have not actually seen him before. So you can see from the screen, James is a very young guy from Australia. So James, just tell us where are you from actually, and how do you actually started this Kyzon Space? Can you hear me?
Yeah, definitely. So our team is from. Yeah, we can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Is the mic check going okay?
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay, we're live. Great. So our team is from Sydney, Australia. So our entire team is based in Australia. We're a team of four. And effectively, how we came up with the idea is back in, I guess, COVID times during the pandemic, I was working as a paralegal at a law firm. And effectively, we had to work remotely. And the process of legal work, or like, I guess, paralegal legal work remotely, is a lot of document sharing and a lot of document collaboration. And what we found is effectively that documents and remote meetings do not play very well. The main way you kind of, I guess, work on documents remotely at that time was to share a screen and have everyone sit around while the host or the person sharing that screen made edits on the document. And everyone else was kind of just sitting there watching. And we thought, hey, look, this is really not a very productive and effective way of sharing and working on documents. And that's how we came up with the idea to kind of work on a platform, a meeting platform that kind of addressed the issue of working on documents primarily. And that's how our idea came about.
Okay. So I mean, you know that you have a team in Australia, so you know that what do you call that? Recently, there are a lot of LTD going bust, or maybe
Mm. Right.
with heavy heart. They will announce something. The
Right.
moment we see the with heavy heart, we know that they are closing down. So this is
Right.
a very important question. I mean, I will ask on behalf of the audience as well as
Mm.
myself. How are you going to tackle this issue? So are you coming
Right.
for what I call for a quick buck, or maybe you are going here for the long term sustainability? Or
Right.
is there an exit strategy that you are having in mind now? Or how are you going to handle this so-called issue, Please.
Yeah, definitely. Do you know what's really funny, right? So, we actually aren't as familiar with the LTD community before doing the AppSumo campaign. So the idea of a heavy heart is quite new to us. But after kind of like experiencing it, seeing the culture around heavy heart, it's quite a sad phenomenon, but quite a somewhat of a humorous one too. So for us, it's a very valid question. So throughout our entire campaign, a lot of people have been asking, "Hey, look, there's been some high-profile video conferencing platforms that have, I guess, unfortunately ceased to exist. So how are you guys different? How can like I guess customers make sure that they're getting a good, I guess, product for the long term?" So I guess the really easy way to answer this is effectively, we don't know how the other high profile companies didn't like do so well. But we can tell you how we as a video conferencing platform does things differently from other players in the market. So a lot of the companies or a lot of the current modern day like software as a service companies, they I guess launch and go to market really, really fast. And the way they do that is by implementing a lot of third-party components, APIs, features as a service into their product. So one of the ways that typical video conferencing platforms do this is by subscribing to a third-party service like Agora or Dite. And that handles specifically the video, audio, and the streaming components of a video conferencing platform. And it's honestly a great way to kind of enter the market really, really quickly. But the main challenge with, I guess, sustaining that model is you end up losing a lot of revenue and a lot of, like, I guess, ongoing costs because you have to kind of give a portion of, I guess, your revenue to this third-party service. And effectively, the more components you kind of bundle on into your final product, the more expensive it is to kind of maintain a service at scale. So we kind of have an inverted approach where we effectively build most of all of our features that you see on our platforms in-house. So all of the features that we offer, especially on a lifetime deal, are very sustainable in the sense that they have a low ongoing cost. Obviously, like as a video conferencing platform, there are server costs, right? So there's server bandwidth costs. But beyond that, we don't license any of our features from third-party providers, which helps to keep the scaling costs down over time. And that's one of the ways that we, I guess, are able to offer a lifetime deal without too much concern of long-term viability.
Mhm. Yeah, that is a very good strategy from my what I call observation, because as you know, most what I call startup or maybe SaaS models, they depend a lot of third party APIs, third party capability. So their own capability might be a very small portion. So that's where the problem come. They might get some very good discount on server costs or whatever you want to call it. So after a few months or after 6 months or a year, when all the credit dries up, or there is no more what they call an angel investor coming in, we're going to have problem. So I hope this will not happen in Kyzon. So come into this question about investment. So I do not know, because according to Facebook and according to this AppSumo, you are actually pre-seed. So are you actually actively looking for investor, or do you have actually investor behind you ready to pump in money?
Right. So that's a great question. So in terms of this question, we like to kind of be as transparent as we can without actually, I guess, I guess in a way, without disclosing who we have backing behind us, because it is, I guess, their intention. So to kind of explain the question, one, we are not actively seeking investment. We are actually trying to provide a service that is VC free. So our goal as a company is to be, I guess, completely private for as long as possible. And that allows us to build the features, to build, I guess, towards a vision and a product that doesn't have to make like crazy amount of money and have to have like really, really high costs early and quickly. And
Mhm.
that allows us to provide a more sustainable product for the long term. And it also allows us to kind of weather economic, I guess, depressions or like global like situations without having to worry about, oh, when's our next funding round? Are we going to have more money coming in and all of that kind of stuff? So in terms of the question of, hey, are we going to look for more investment? At the moment, no. And we honestly hope, okay, I guess our strategy is we honestly shouldn't need to. And I guess because of that approach, we honestly hope we don't ever have to.
Okay, that's good. So one last question before we go into the proper software itself. Uh, do you have an exit strategy?
We do not actually. So we look, I think a lot of software companies these days, they kind of build a product with an exit in mind. We have a more of an ambitious plan where we want to actually build something that goes beyond web.
Mhm.
So
That's good.
yeah, so our initial vision wasn't actually in a web style format. We had a kind of a further vision, but the technology at the time to build that, I guess, further vision isn't really mature enough for us to kind of take that approach in the current day. So we actually want to build a platform that extends beyond your laptop and your mobile and extends into a further medium. But in terms of the technology that is available in both hardware and software right now, it isn't cognizant to a good meeting environment. So I guess in that respect, we don't have an exit in mind, and we would prefer to sustain ourselves so that we can build the technology to extend beyond our current capabilities.
Okay, that's good to know. So, guys, I mean, if I mean, you guys actually have asked me, personally. Some of you have asked, is this going to be a fly-by-night company? I say I don't know. You come and ask James by yourself, So, but of course, James is here, so we welcome any question about the company, and
Yep.
it's time for us to actually move forward and actually see what is actually what they call this Kyzon space, and there is actually a Kyzon's flow. So some people are asking what is flow. So before we actually start, just a few what they call points that I want to emphasize is because for my testing and using for the last few times with this Kyzon space, I find that this is actually a very good bracket replacement of Google Meet, Zoom, or maybe Microsoft Team or any other video meeting software. And personally, I find that there are actually some things that they can actually improve on. Maybe we can talk about it later, or maybe he will bring up what are the roadmap that you're going to add in more features or whatever suggestion that he has from the buyers or for the customers. So without further ado, I would like James to actually tell us what is this Kyzon space. James,
Yeah,
you can.
definitely. So yeah, so one, okay, so I guess, wait, Albert, do you want us to share screen or do you want us to kind of explain the product first and then share screen?
You share, you talk about the product and then you can just share
Okay.
screen later. Up to you.
Yeah, easy. So yeah, so a lot of okay, so there was a bit of confusion as to what we're actually offering in terms of what is Kaizen Space and what is Kaizen Flow. So if you want to think about Kyzon Space as a standalone video collaboration platform that focuses on making video meetings and document collaboration in remote workflows more effective and efficient. So to simplify all of that, effectively what Kyzon Space is a video collaboration platform that allows you to have video meetings and to make working on documents together easier and simpler. So that's what Kyzon Space is. What Kyzon Flow is our take on a collaborative drive like storage system. So if you want to think about what Kyzon Flow is, it is very similar to your Google Drives, your OneDrives, and your Dropbox, except it's our simplified version. So the rationale behind building both products instead of just building one is that they are two separate products with two separate functions. But because we are focusing on making document collaboration as easy and as effective as possible in your online meetings, it was really, really difficult to do that with solely third-party services. Because if we integrated just Google, just Dropbox, just OneDrive, there's always this layer of communication that is hard to achieve with third-party software. So as a result, we thought, hey, look, why not make this experience more cohesive by building our own, I guess, cloud drive system? And that's how Kaizen Flow came about. That being said, though, just because we have Kaizen Flow doesn't necessarily mean we're the type of software company that wants to lock everyone in to our ecosystem. Would love it if people just choose our platforms over like Google, Microsoft, or Dropbox. That being said, we recognize that a lot of companies, especially like more established ones or people who've been in business for a long time, they have stored and they have, I guess, kept their important documents on Google Drive, OneDrive, Dropbox for years or even decades at this point. And to expect people to move away from those platforms onto our platform on day one is a tough ask. Which is why, in terms of integrations, we've also integrated Google Drive, OneDrive, and Dropbox as a native integration into Kyzen Space. So how that kind of works is a great time for us to transition into a screen sharing kind of mode. And that way we can kind of showcase how that looks like in our meeting platform.
Okay, that's great. So why not you go into the back end of your what I call a Kyzon space and let the audience see by themselves how is it look like.
Yeah, definitely. So Albert, I'm going to need your help in this one. I also want you to participate and showcase some of the collaboration features that we have in the meeting platform.
Sure, but please share
Awesome.
your screen first because they can't
Definitely.
see. Okay,
Definitely.
okay, I'm sharing the screen. Okay, guys, hold on. Let me put my. Where should we put our photo? Right hand side.
Maybe, yeah,
Oh,
right hand side works perfectly. Yep. Can everyone still hear us, just to make sure?
come
Yeah, can
again.
we just make sure that our audio is still working for the entire
Yeah, guys,
audience that
can
is
you
watching us?
hear us? See us when we are talking? Can you see the screen as well? I mean the share screen. Just say something in the chat so that we know.
Yeah, just to make sure we're not talking to like a wall and that like we're not in our own private space. Oh no, have
Okay.
we lost everyone?
No. Let me ask them again.
Okay, perfect. Everyone's saying yes, this is great.
Oh yes, okay, guys. So if anything that if the video or whatever the Kaizen screen is no more, just let us know because this could happen because we are actually doing them live streaming on two platform. One is web video, the other one is actually a Kaizen. So please let us know if anything goes wrong. Okay, let me go to my Kaizen.
Yep,
So
awesome.
what?
Just to check for the live stream, can everyone see the bottom function buttons? Because I see that there is a please ask your questions in the chat banner that oh, okay, perfect. Okay, perfect. Yeah, that was my question.
Okay, yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, so awesome. So let's kind of go over this, I guess, how this platform works. So first off, welcome to Kyzen Space. This is the meeting platform that you will see. Hopefully, in your actual meetings on Kyzen Space, you will have your camera on. But because we're doing a live stream, we have, I guess, initials to replace our face. Okay, so if you kind of, so if you can kind of get a pretty good understanding of our platform, we designed it to be simple. So the whole idea of this meeting platform is that it should be something where if you send it and use it with your clients, they don't feel intimidated to be on a new platform. We know that there are currently a lot of other, I guess platforms on the market where you can kind of host your video conferencing and your video calls. And one of the key criteria that we had when we designed this is we wanted clients, hosts to be, I guess, very, very comfortable on our platform from within the first 3 minutes. So as you can see, the platform is designed to be very simple. So now that we have the general design ethos of the platform out of the way, let's talk about what are the key features that I just kind of mentioned, document collaboration, that you can do. So on Kyzon Space, one of the headlining features that we kind of promote is this idea of document collaboration. So how that works is in the bottom right-hand corner, there is a button called Show Documents. And once you click that, you open up a panel that shows either your meeting files or your cloud files. So to explain how meeting files work is effectively during the meeting, if you want to share a document or you want to create a new one to work on, you could simply either upload a file or you can create a new document, either Word, Excel, or PowerPoint file. So effectively when you do that, they get stored in, I guess, your flow as well, but they are securely stored in the confines of this meeting. Okay, so that's meeting files. Now to kind of move on to cloud files. So we understand that not everyone wants to use Flow as their primary cloud storage drive, which is why we kind of implemented an integration with all of the popular cloud storage drives. And how you access that in the meeting is to navigate to cloud files. So right next to meeting files, there's this tab called cloud files. You click on cloud files and you have access to all of the different drives that you can simply connect straight in the meeting. So without having to move into a different tab or navigate out of the meeting, you can simply connect all these drives right there in your meeting. So an example of how that works is I've already connected Google Drive. Let's try create a Google document for Albert and I to kind of work on. So you could either double click the Google Drive and you can share a document from your drive, or you can simply create a new file in your Google Drive, whether that's a docs, sheets, or slides. Albert, what would you like to work on? Would you like to work on a document?
Yeah, why not?
Okay, great. So let's work on a document. So let's go download Silo live. So I simply create a Google Drive document, and within a couple of seconds, it will create that document and it will be available to share to everyone in the meeting. So all I have to do is simply click Share Now. And now Albert and I can now see this Google Drive document right here in the meeting. So Albert, would you like to start us off on this collaboration by typing anything you like into the Google document?
Okay, let me do that. Can you see that?
Great. Yeah, so I can see that Albert has typed, "How are you, James?" I am great, Albert.
Okay, I see anonymous jackalope. So they don't show their name, right? So
Yes. So at the moment, we don't share the names. It's, I guess, a good feature in terms of privacy that we are okay maintaining for the moment. We will work on adding profiles and distinct names in the future, but for the moment, it is a privacy-focused approach where we're trying to keep everyone anonymous for now.
okay, good.
Yeah, so this is how Google Drive works. And similar to Google Documents, once I'm done sharing this document, I could simply go to the document and I can close it. Alternatively, shall we work on I guess, a Word file? So download Silo. Um, Yep, so you can simply, in your meeting files, just simply create a new file and you double click it and you can click share. And then once you click share now, the document opens. Let's give it a quick second and the document opens for both Albert and I.
Okay, it's on now. This is Microsoft, right?
Yes, this is Microsoft.
Microsoft. Microsoft Word.
Yes, perfect. So I can see Albert typing in the Word file and it is live. So we can both collaborate on Word type files as well. So we wanted to give support for both Microsoft and Google Suites since they are probably they are the two most popular like file types that most businesses still use. And because of that, we wanted to give people the option. And a lot of customers or clients of ours have, I guess, their own clients who range between Google and Microsoft. And we didn't want to leave them or lock them into one of the two ecosystems. So that's why we have support for both.
James, let me interrupt you. Regarding
Definitely.
those Microsoft Word, Excel, and PowerPoint, or maybe because those are paid
Right.
what they call a license. So
Mm.
how do you actually, utilize it? Is it there's a license or there's actually free?
Yeah, right. So great question. So we recognized that Microsoft charges for their Word, PowerPoint, and Excel. And it also made it a really big challenge to then integrate into our platform. Because of that, we actually developed, I guess, our own custom version of it, like of a word editor. So what you see here is actually our custom implementation of a Microsoft Word, Excel, and PowerPoint.
I
So
see.
disclaimer, it is probably not a one for one, like I guess mirror, like it's not a one for one like version of Microsoft Excel, Word, or PowerPoint, but it is pretty close.
Okay.
And to answer the question of do you have to pay for it? Do you have to license it? No, we offer our version for free.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, so you don't need a Microsoft subscription to have access to these features. All you simply need is access to Kyzon Space
Yeah,
or Kyzon
that's
Flow.
the most important answer that the people are looking at.
Yeah, so we don't charge you to like use the Word or like the Excel or the PowerPoint features. Cool, perfect. So I guess now that we've kind of gone over how the document collaboration works, we also like to kind of make the process of switching between different documents simple. And how you do that is at the tab below the document itself. We try to keep all documents that have been worked on during the session saved here, unless the presenter closes them. What this allows us to do is it allows, I guess, teams to work on documents and switch between them faster without having to go through a drive and actually find the document each time. So all you have to do if we wanted to go back to the Google document is click the first file, which is the Google document. And once you click it, we're now back in the Google document mode.
Will it affect the anything, the speed or whatever? I mean, the computer will hang or because if you open up too many documents, I don't know.
Yeah, right. So that is a great question. So at the like when we first designed this platform, we tried to keep all of the documents in flash storage or like in like active memory. We realized that over time, we used a lot of documents in our own workflow, and that actually brought the speed down. Because of
Mhm.
that, we actually now, I guess, clear or archive or kind of save the memory so that all documents that are in quick access don't take up active memory. So
Mhm.
now you could have 100 documents open and it won't affect the performance of the platform or the meeting.
Yeah, that will solve the problem of, let's say, for example, you have maybe 50 participant or 20 participant. Everybody was trying to share something.
Yep.
Then I can see the problem coming, if you don't solve the problem. Yeah.
Yeah, it would bog down the system. And yeah, so to kind of rectify that, we made sure that all of the documents that are in quick access are not in active memory, or it's not using active memory. So that won't kind of hurt the browser or won't actually like bog down the meeting itself.
Okay. Cool, cool.
Right. So that's kind of the fundamental, I guess, collaborative nature of documents on Kyzon Space. But we recognize that documents don't just stop at Google Docs, Word files, and PowerPoint presentations. We also understand that a lot of users like to use online meetings as a way to make, I guess, sales presentations, deliver educational content, or simply for teaching. And one of the ways we wanted to support this use case is by providing presentations that are synced and are easy and simple to allow everyone to see clearly. So I guess the legacy way of sharing presentations is for the host or presenter to share their screen of a presentation. And everyone, I guess, in the audience would sit there. And if it's a long presentation, especially if it's a long-winded host or someone who's not very energetic, you start tuning out. And when you start tuning out, you lose where in the presentation, I guess, the host or the presenter is up to. And what we wanted to do is we wanted a way for people to be able to go back in the presentation without affecting where the presenter is. And this is where our, I guess, synced presentation feature comes into play. And to showcase how this kind of works, Albert, I would love your help again to kind of share the idea proposal that is in the documents.
Okay. The PDF?
Yes, the PDF. Perfect.
Okay. Yeah, it's loading now. Oh, it's loaded now.
Perfect.
Can you
So
see
what
that?
you can see here, yep.
Okay.
So the audience that is watching the live right now is seeing my screen. And what I am seeing is what your audience or the people watching your presentation is going to see. So Albert, would you mind start like, I guess, scrolling through the presentation or scrolling through the pages? And I
Sure.
can show the audience how the presentation automatically plays. Perfect. So as Albert scrolls through the presentation, without the audience member having to do anything, they can see the presentation moving in real time. Albert, would you mind just continually scrolling? Perfect. So we can see that the slides are moving automatically on its own. So we can now see that Albert is sharing a shift from around us to beyond us, and then it's now moving on to the education evolution. So with presentations that typically occur with screen sharing, there is a chance for the person that you're trying to present to start tuning out. And when they start tuning out, it's actually really, really hard in the current screen sharing implementation to actually go back on that presentation and to catch up on what the speaker is talking about. So because of that, we made it our goal to make that feature or like that use case a reality and a possibility. So as a viewer or as the audience member, they can actually scroll back in the presentation. So now I'm going to scroll back all the way to the beginning to find out what exactly this presentation is talking about. So now I have an idea of, okay, so this presentation is about an idea proposal. It's about we now live in a moving world or something around that. And it's about a shift from around us. Oh, right. Okay. It's a shift that is around us to beyond us. Okay. So now that I have a better understanding of what the presentation is about, at any time I can click the button up top that says go to presenter location. And without affecting Albert, who is the presenter, I can now instantly jump to where Albert is presenting from. So I can see that Albert is now on student wants to learn, has changed, page 4. And now the presentation is now still going, and Albert is still, I guess, making his presentations and his points. And I can kind of go back and grasp the key details in the presentation without having to stop Albert like you would in a normal screen sharing presentation.
Okay, James, I would like to interrupt. Sorry.
Yeah, definitely.
Uh, can Google Meet do that? No, right?
Yes, it's surprising, but from our understanding, unless Google has changed their most recent update, you cannot do this at the moment on Google
Uh,
Meets.
okay, good.
Yes. So this seems to be a feature that I guess both Zoom, Google Meets, and Teams don't currently offer at the moment.
They might copy you later.
Look, we welcome people to innovate and provide better meetings, honestly. Yeah, perfect. So yeah, so this is how our, I guess, this is our, okay, so effectively what you see here is our take on how we think online presentations should be delivered. With our implementation, if you upload or share a PDF as the presentation, you no longer have to worry too much about your network speeds. So with the classic implementation of screen sharing, if you as the sharer have bad network, or if the people who are viewing your presentation have bad network, then the quality of that screen share and that presentation it fluctuates greatly. You may have 10 seconds of crystal clear presentation, followed by another 4 seconds of choppy, laggy, like 240p blurry presentations. And what we found is when that like scenario happens, you get less engagement, you get a lot of disruptions in your presentation, and that's what we wanted to avoid with with our implementation.
Okay,
Perfect.
James.
Thanks, Albert.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt again. What about video? Let's say, for example,
Right.
can we share the video from the flow, or I mean, from a Google Drive or whatever?
Right. Okay. So that's a great question, and it's a feature that a lot of people have requested. And to kind of make this simple, we currently allow, I guess, teams to share YouTube videos directly in Kyzon Space.
Oh,
So
okay.
let me show you how that works. So let me quickly get a YouTube video and we will showcase how the YouTube sharing works. So effectively, similar to how you would share a screen, in the share button at the bottom, you simply click it and you have two options. You could either share a screen or share a link. So if you wanted to share a YouTube video, all you had to do was share a link and you click share. At the
Mm.
moment, we support both Notion pages and YouTube videos with support for, I guess, more web pages and other, I guess, web type links in the future. To kind of, I guess, to help, I guess, make, I guess, the process of sharing a YouTube video clearer, Albert, would you mind helping me again
Mm-hmm.
by sharing the YouTube video that I'm going to share in the chat?
Okay. Where is the video?
So I have put it in the chat in Kyzon Space.
Oh,
So if you
okay.
navigate to the bottom right-hand corner, there is a YouTube video that I have now sent to the Central Space chat.
So I
Or
just click the link,
no,
right?
so right click the link and click copy.
Copy link address.
Yeah, so copy link address, and then would you mind going to the share button and clicking the share button?
Okay. Share link.
Yeah, perfect. And then click share link and then share the URL.
Okay. Good.
Perfect.
Done.
Great.
Oh,
Awesome.
add two
Easy.
more.
Yeah, AppSumo. Yeah. So might as well share the AppSumo video just to make sure that we avoid any controversies. So Albert, would you mind clicking the play on that video? Perfect. So what you can see here now is that Albert has now started the sharing of that YouTube video. And effectively, as the viewer, we are always going to be in sync with Albert, who has shared the video. So now that Albert has paused the YouTube video, the viewer is also going to be paused. Now, Albert, you can actually skip ahead on the YouTube video, and what the viewers will see is that it would automatically sync to where Albert is.
Okay, that's very
Albert, do
cool.
you want to, yeah, do you want to skip forward, Albert, on the video and showcase, like, show everyone in the audience how that looks like? Perfect. Yep, so we can see that Albert has skipped forward and the audio from the video is also coming through. So everyone in the meeting can hear the video through the native video's audio and the synced, I guess the location of the video that everyone sees is determined by the person that is sharing it. In this case, Albert, as the person sharing the YouTube video, has full control over what everyone else sees. And we envision this use case for both education and for, I guess, sharing in internal teams, also in sales meetings.
Yeah, that's incredible. There's no lag at all.
Yeah, so because because YouTube also automatically adjusts the quality based on your network, it allows us to kind of moderate how to deliver the smoothest video playback experience possible. And we will look to introduce support for other video platforms in the future. But because YouTube has been I guess, the most popular and de facto video sharing platform, that is why we have provided support for video as the first and foremost option. I guess YouTube as the first and foremost option.
That's good. So I'll just close the video. Can we
Yeah,
just close?
perfect.
Okay.
Perfect. Thank you, Albert.
Thank you.
And I guess the final, feature that I kind of wanted to call out because it is one of those features that a lot of people have requested and is kind of important for training a lot as well as larger team meetings is the idea of a breakout room, what we like to call spaces. So our design philosophy with our breakout rooms is that we wanted the idea of breaking out into different spaces to mirror how a team in person typically works. So when you're in an office or you're in a, I guess, physical space, you typically like to spread out into pockets of space. And what that helps to do is it helps to keep you in I guess, a private discussion while also feeling as if you're still part of the greater meeting. So with products like Zoom, their breakout spaces or their breakout rooms pull you into a whole separate, what we like to call dimension or universe that feels kind of devoid or feels very, I guess, distant from the main meeting itself. And what we wanted to do is we wanted to bring that human connection back into, I guess, smaller group collaboration. And that's the design, I guess, philosophy or like the design approach that we had with our breakout rooms. So to kind of illustrate how to create, I guess, spaces, we simply go down to the tab that says Central Space. Right next to the Central Space, you'll see a plus button. So this plus button allows you to very easily create a new space. So simply click create a new space and you get to name the new space. So really quickly, Albert, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new space and I'm going to jump into it.
Okay.
When I am in the new space, Albert, please keep an eye out for the chat.
Oh,
Yep. So what we're going to do is once I hop into the new space, I'm going to demonstrate what the idea of I guess, a cross space chat looks like. So I'm gonna create a new space called download silo live. So when I create this new space, I'm gonna hop into I guess, a new space. Awesome. So I'm now in a new space, and Albert is still in the central space. And
Mm.
this is a use case that we see quite often with, I guess, bigger teams that have split off mid-discussion to work on something smaller before coming back. So I'm now working with my team in this download silo live space, and I have a question for Albert. I wanted a specific, I wanted specifically to know from Albert, hey Albert, how
Um,
are we running for time on this live? So instead of me having to jump back into the central space to communicate with Albert, I can simply open the chat, open the central space live chat, and I can ask Albert the question because I know he's in the central space. Albert, if
mm.
you wouldn't mind, can you please open the chat function on your space and kind
Yeah,
of have a quick dialogue with me?
I
So it's in the bottom right-hand corner
yeah,
if
I
you
already
see the
opened.
chat. Yep.
You want me to? Oh, the
Just
time now is
quickly
10:40.
reply. Quickly type a message and see. Perfect. I can see that Albert Tan Download Salo is typing. Okay, great. So Albert responded that it's at 10:48 p.m. now. So what we can have is, even though we are in two different spaces, we can have a conversation, discuss key meeting, topics without either of us having to jump between the spaces. And we found that this is really helpful for both team trainings along with, internal teams working on different topics during a meeting itself. So when, a larger meeting breaks off into smaller discussions, we find that a more open space allows people to collaborate better. So now that I've kind of showcased this feature, I'm now going to hop back into the central space to join Albert in the greater meeting. And to do that, all I have to do is simply hover over the central space and simply click, and I'm now back in the central space with Albert. Hi, Albert, I'm back.
Okay, but I also can go into the what they call the breakout room download silo live, right?
Yes, definitely. So all you have to do is hover over the download silo space and just simply click it. Do you want to give it a try, Albert? Perfect.
Yeah, I
So
can.
yeah, perfect. We can see that Albert has now joined the download silo live. And to see what Albert is doing, or to get a brief preview of what is happening in that space, simply hover over the space itself. At the moment, Albert is not really doing anything, so we don't have a preview. But Albert, really quickly, do you want to share the document again? So do you want to quickly
Um,
share the idea proposal again
okay,
from the
yes.
meeting documents? Hi, Albert. I
Yeah,
can see your message. Great.
I'm
So
sure.
Albert is now sharing. So what we can see is Albert is now sharing a PDF in Download Silo. And in Central Space, I can now preview what Albert is doing by simply hovering over the space. This allows, the person who is contemplating or considering joining Albert to know whether or not it is a good time to join the discussion. I can
Mm,
see Albert is simply sharing a file, and I guess because I know Albert is sharing the idea proposal, it might be a great time to join him in the, the open space. And to do
mm.
that, I simply click, and then I'm now back with Albert, and I'm following the presentation that he is sharing.
Okay, that's very cool.
Perfect. Let's go back to central space. Awesome.
Mhm.
Yeah. So that is, okay, so everything that I've showcased so far is the features that help us differentiate from other meeting platforms. And these are also the features that we built and designed specifically for collaboration in your remote meetings. We also have a few other features that we will leave for, I guess, users to explore on their own. We also have the idea of including notes in the meeting itself for users to jot down things quickly without having to open a new notepad or another Word document on the side. We also have the ability to take snapshots, which is effectively a screenshot of the meeting, along with the ability to start recordings. And finally, for I guess admins or hosts trying to moderate a meeting, we have the option of host controls that allow people. So we have the option of, and maybe that wasn't the best way. We also have the ability for I guess hosts to either allow access to, I guess, sharing screen, sending chat messages, taking snapshots, along with assigning who has the ability to edit documents in the meeting. Perfect. So
First,
that
you
kind
must,
of,
James, sorry to interrupt again, so that people
yeah,
know that this is the request of some of the members. You
yeah.
must always you get when people get a link, invite link from the what they call the initiator. So anybody with that link will be able to join. So that is dangerous for some people because sometimes they misplace the link and then somebody got the link and they join the meeting. So put an option of blocking people from joining unknown people.
That is a great suggestion, Albert. Thank you. So in terms of that request, we are currently working on designing and developing a waiting room type system so that I guess hosts will have to admit the people joining so that random people who have somehow managed to get access to the link can't just simply, I guess, bomb your meetings.
Yeah, that would
And
be
that
good.
feature is coming within the month. So the
Hmm.
waiting room feature will be available within the month
Hmm. Great.
to address the concerns of security. Thank you, Albert.
Yeah.
Perfect. So yeah, that pretty much concludes the live demo of our platform. Look, appreciate everyone for sitting around and enjoying and experiencing our platform with us. So I will now stop our screen share, and I guess Albert would start fielding questions.
Okay, good. Guys, I will hide the screen. Yeah, it's already hidden. Okay, now you just see two of us, and I'm going through the question and answer. We have about close to 100
Wow.
chat, You will take some time to read all those things. Okay, before we actually go into the question and answer, let me do my job, and everybody is waiting for this giveaway participation form, So let me do my job here, and I will type it in the live chat so that you guys can actually participate. As usual, you know what to do. Fill in the form, your email, your Facebook profile, and that's it. You know. Okay, we have five prizes to be won. Tier one, three prizes. Tier two, one prize. Tier three, one prize. So these prizes are actually very valuable, especially tier three onwards. Of course, they have actually up to tier six, right? Or tier five. I can't remember.
We have up to tier 5 on AppSumo right
Tier
now.
five. So maybe James, you can explain a little bit about your what they call the tiers, so that people know why are so expensive at the end. Why,
Right.
I mean, we have people say, "Wow, this is 600 ringgit or 600 US dollar."
Right. Yeah, definitely. So effectively, how we broke down our tiers is we wanted tier 1 to be accessible. Effectively, we didn't want to gate too many features on our tiers. We wanted to provide as much wide access to all of our features as possible. Unfortunately, the Dropbox and OneDrive integration was really, really quite hard to maintain for us. So we had to keep that as the only feature that was accessible from tier 3 onwards. Apart from the Dropbox and OneDrive integration, all other tiers have access to all the features that you have on the platform. The only difference is the number of users, which is the number of emails that is tied to the team space, along with participant limits and a slight increase in spaces and the number of live editors. Should I share my?
Yeah,
I guess. Okay, should I share the screen? Okay,
yeah, you
I
can
guess I'll
share
share the
the.
screen to quickly, I guess, explain the tiers.
You want to share or I share?
I guess you can share. Yeah, I think that would be better actually. I would love for you to share and explain the tiers of it.
Okay, let me share the screen. Chrome. Okay. Okay, guys, you see the. Oh, I have to show it up. Okay, that's it. Let me put. I mean the ticker
That
and
is that is quite narrow.
those are disturbing. Okay, because put my face up. Okay, guys, this is the tier. The number of tiers. Tier one, tier two, tier three, tier four, tier five maximum. So that's about $689, which is actually the highest tier where you have about 200 participants per meeting. Users is 15 users. So James, maybe you explain a little bit what do you mean by users.
Yeah, so users are effectively independent accounts. But they are tied to one team space. So if you buy a tier 3, for example, you get one team space and you can invite 5 other users, not including the user that you signed up with. So effectively what this means is each individual user gets their own calendar, their own schedule, so that they can schedule independent meetings that don't conflict with anyone else's schedule.
Okay, maybe a simple question. Let's say if in a team of let's say 6 users, I
Yep.
license tier three, so I have
Yep.
5 team members. So can a team member access Kyzon at two different meeting?
At the moment, okay, so as long as you schedule it, yes. So effectively, okay, actually, okay, Albert, would you mind clarifying the question so I can give
Okay,
a
very
perfectly clear
simple.
answer?
Now my team is I have 6 users in my team.
Mm,
So myself
yep.
is one. I actually sometimes I talk to one client, so I schedule a
Yep.
meeting. But I also talk to another client, schedule another
Mm,
meeting together.
sure.
But I talk differently. I mean, maybe do some presentation, but then the mic will be problem, I believe,
Yep.
because when I talk, both party will hear.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, just an idea.
Yeah, so to answer the question, the answer is yes. So if you have two separate meeting rooms, both meeting rooms can be active at the same time. The
Mhm.
only difference is that only the host that has joined the meeting can have access to host controls.
I
So
see.
effectively, if you create a meeting room and you don't have a host who is available, the only so yeah, so if you create a meeting room without the host available and you have turned off the waiting room feature, then effectively everyone, like anyone with the link, can use that meeting room for a conferencing, for like a meeting. But in that meeting itself, you will not have the host control features,
I see. Okay.
meaning that everyone has free reign over the meeting to share documents, to access all the documents, etc.
Okay. Understood now.
That being said, yeah, but
Mhm.
that being said, I just wanted to make sure to clarify that our meeting links don't expire, meaning that if you schedule a meeting for today at 12 p.m. and it goes on for like from 12 p.m. to 1 p.m., at 2 p.m. or 3 p.m. the next day, you can still join that same meeting link and access like the meeting files and to reuse that meeting room as a link for future meetings if you wish.
Mhm. Okay. Understood. I understand now. Okay. Let
Perfect.
me unshare the pricing. So, guys, let's go into the question and answer. I think they have a lot of question and answer. Let me do
Yeah,
my.
let's do it.
Okay, if you guys have any question, please write it down in the chat. I will start from the top. Then I will project it up, and James will try to read it out and also answer that at the same time. Okay, the first question is by Leonard Grimm.
Okay, perfect. So the question from Leonard is, where will the documents be stored and how secure is that? So yeah, great question. So at the moment, there are a total of four possible places documents can be stored. So the first possible place that a document can be stored is on our own cloud storage provider called Kyzon Flow. So what Kyzon Flow is our version of a cloud storage platform that mirrors a Google Drive, a OneDrive, or a Dropbox. How secure is that? We use secure Amazon Web Services or AWS servers that are located in Sydney to store all of our user data and all of our document data. Um, Look, we personally believe Amazon Web Services is pretty secure. So I guess in terms of how secure is that, we think it's quite secure. The second, I guess, second, third, and fourth options where the documents can be stored is either on your own Google Drive, OneDrive, or Dropbox. Because we currently integrate with all three of those cloud providers, you can store your own documents in Google Drive, OneDrive, or Dropbox and have access directly to them in Kyzon Space. And all changes that are made during the meeting are automatically synced and saved to the original file stored on those drives. So, for example, if you store your critical business plan on Google Drive and you share that business plan to the Kaizen Space meeting and you work on it, make changes, those changes automatically sync and save to the file that you have stored on Google Drive. And in terms of how secure that is, the connection is secure. We require authentication. In terms of how secure Google Drive, OneDrive, and Dropbox are, I guess, look, we think they're secure as well, which is why we partner with them.
My answer to this is ask the hackers. The hacker said
Very
nothing is
smart.
secure. Okay, good. Let me project the second question. Okay, Uli would like to ask, what are the education background of your other team members?
Yeah, great, perfect. So in terms of the educational background of our other team members, they all have computer science and commerce degrees. So their background is computer science, development, so software coding, and also commerce as their backgrounds.
Okay, thank you. So Justin give you a good comment. He had heard too many heavy heart.
Thank you, Justin. Justin? Is it Justin or just Sturgis?
It's also Justin Sturgis.
Okay,
It's also
perfect. Thank you,
Justin, also
Justin. I
John.
appreciate it.
Okay, our French guy.
Okay, perfect. Also, I just remembered really quickly, in terms of the backgrounds for one of our other members, they majored in actuarial and data science from memory. So just to kind of round out the backgrounds for our team, we also have someone who's in data science and actuarial. Perfect. Now to this question. Um, has Kaizen okay, so I think the question is asking, does Kaizen support other languages for the UI? And if not, will it be on the roadmap? And the question is asking whether French will be available. Okay, perfect. So to answer this question, at the moment, we only support English and I guess technically Japanese as the language for the UI. At the moment, we do not have any other languages planned on our roadmap, but if if any of our customers wish to translate or help translate our platforms for their native language, we will help support, I guess, to provide our platforms in that language. Unfortunately, we don't know or we don't speak French, so we can't directly translate it ourselves. But if any of our users are interested in helping us translate, we will. we will, I guess, work with you to support a French version or
Yeah,
any other language native version.
Francois
Yep.
can actually help to check the translation. You can always ask ChatGPT or any AI to
True.
translate, but then somebody have to check, so that kind of thing.
Yeah. We
So
can't verify whether ChatGPT has given us French or German, unfortunately.
okay, can you read it out and answer that?
Yeah, perfect. So Yulai asked, participants per meetings are limited on all tiers, etc. max 100. Did you consider to offer the option to have single meetings with higher participants against one-time cost? Okay, so I think to clarify the question, I think what Yulai is asking is that have we considered the option of increasing the participant limit per meeting for a additional one-time cost? I believe that is what the Yulai is asking.
Mhm.
So based on that understanding, the answer to that is we have considered it, but we are not really planning to offer that for two reasons. One, it's not very financially, I guess, a very good, I guess, business model in the sense that if we offered, I guess, a lot more participants, for example, if we increase the cap to 1,000, it's really hard to price that in a way that's really sustainable for the long term. So effectively, when you have smaller participant counts, you can kind of model the costs and model, I guess, how much it's likely to cost over a certain period of time. But when you kind of increase the participant count to like, for example, 500 or 1,000, you then have a variability curve that is really hard to model, and it really makes, I guess, calculating sustainability difficult. And because of that, it also makes it really, really hard to come up with what that one-time cost should look like. We don't
Okay,
want to overcharge people and we want to provide good value, but we also don't want to put ourselves in a situation where we've offered it, we've taken the money, now we can't refund it, right? So that's why it's kind of one of those things where we're very hesitant to do.
okay. I
Albert?
just project up this. This is the follow up question by him. Maybe he has a requirement of he doing a big event. We need 500 people. So my suggestion is
Right.
get in touch with you privately.
Yep.
And get a. I mean, work out some costs. That can be
Yep.
done, I believe.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. So if you have like a very niche event, or if you have kind of like a once in a lifetime blue moon big customer presentation and you need like 500, 1,000 people, just reach out to us. We can actually probably help you like come up with like a plan or like not even a plan, maybe like, dude, like if it's really something that is really important and you just need help, just contact us. We can always make something work that will help you deliver the best presentation you can and look, and then it'll work for us. Right. So we're really communicative. Reach out and we'll make it happen, honestly. So Justin also asked, what are the integration capabilities with other tools or platforms? Okay, great question. At the moment, we have integrations for with, I guess, four platforms or tools. So our main integrations at the moment are Google Drive, Dropbox, and OneDrive. So those three are our cloud slash file storage type integrations. We also currently integrate with Google Calendar to help with scheduling, like native scheduling. So you can actually go to the Google App Marketplace and install our Kyzon Space add-on to your Google Calendar to have scheduled meetings on Google Calendar or automatically create Kyzon Space meetings. So that's an integration that we have with Google Calendar. In terms of other calendar integrations, we have, I guess, plans to launch or to release an integration with Outlook and other popular calendar applications. In terms of other tools, it really depends on the backend workflow or the developer workflow with those tools. So we know for a fact that Miro is something that is possible, but there might be, I guess, considerations as to whether or not we choose to integrate with Miro. We know Figma is also one of those tools that are possible. We have gotten requests for like a tool like Canva, Unfortunately, with Canva as a system, they're not a very collaborative platform by nature. So any integrations with Canva would likely not introduce any collaborative features for presentations or like presentation development. And because of that, any integrations that won't have any collaborative features by nature is one of those integrations we would be pretty hesitant to integrate because we don't feel like there's that much value in that type of integration. So
Okay,
I
thank
guess
you.
to answer the question, it really depends on the tool.
Yeah. Okay, this has been answered, right? Calendar feature. So, I mean, Vectra is actually another video meeting app in AppSumo before, no, was quite some time,
Right.
maybe a few years back. Yeah, a lot of people have that.
Right. Okay.
Okay. Okay, that's an
Sure.
interesting question from Frankus. What's the difference between meeting and also on AppSumo? So for your information, guys, this meeting, I pronounce it correctly if I'm wrong, is actually just launched in AppSumo yesterday. So I was actually talking to James about that, just before our webinar. So I have not used it, so I cannot comment much. But then from the write up that is presented in the AppSumo and the website, so it's kind of a more lean towards a webinar, big webinar kind of what they call app. And of course, if they can do webinar, they can do one to one, that kind of thing. But there will be differences because I believe maybe James, you would like to add on.
Yeah, definitely. Look, in full transparency, I also have not used Meeting as a platform yet. But because I guess they recently got introduced to AppSumo, I was pretty curious as well. So I had a quick look at their platform and what they seem to offer. In terms of Meeting as a platform, it seems that they cater more towards webinars and large scale presentations or like, I guess, events. So that seems to be where they are mainly focused on. And you could see that through their user interface being very, very, I guess, functional and having a lot of, I guess, advanced audience management features. And I think that is probably the main difference between Meeting and Kyzon Space as a platform, where I think Meeting is likely going to serve you better if you have large scale events. If you're hosting webinars of 1,000 people, I think Meeting is probably like that platform that allows you to have advanced like audience management features and to support, I guess, that type of event flow. Whereas with Kyzon Space, we're more, I guess, tailored towards more intimate, I guess, smaller meetings where it's more focused on collaboration and working together with the people that are in your meeting itself. Whereas meeting is more about presenting an idea.
Okay, yeah, this is what I think as well, but we do not know actually because I have not tried it at all, so maybe you guys can try it and let us know. Okay, so next move, there are many questions to be answered. So Justin is
Perfect.
asking any interesting features. So we have actually presented, James have presented, and whatever new feature that coming is also presented. And you are talking about session, session is a big letdown among the LTD buyer. So, and they burn some investor money until they have no money to support everything. So it's a very sad case, So I think we don't talk about session because a lot of people will get very angry, including myself.
Right. Right.
Okay.
Fair enough.
Okay, this is a tier problem, How can I
Right.
share on a lower tier?
Right. So Uli is asking, one of the built-in integrations is online storage to open important documents during meetings. Only available after tier 3. How can I share on a lower tier? Okay, so to clarify, the only, I guess, integrations that are, I guess, not available for tier 1 and 2 are Dropbox and OneDrive.
I see.
And
Okay.
so, yeah, so that's the only two integrations that are not available. So your Kaizen Flow and Google Drive are still available in tier 1 and 2.
Mm. That should be enough
That's it.
because if you are in Google ecosystem, then you are quite safe.
Yeah. To
Okay.
also explain, so I guess to answer the question of, okay, so if you're on a tier 1 or a tier 2, how can you still share your important documents during the meeting? So there's two workarounds, right? So the first workaround is simply to upload your documents directly to meeting files. So if you have a presentation or like a document or business plan or like any other Word document that you want to work on with your clients, simply upload it to the meeting files and share from the meeting files directly. That allows you to kind of still collaborate on important documents without having to like rely on a Dropbox or OneDrive integration. Second one is to upload your documents to Kyzon Flow and share from Kyzon Flow directly that way. So either of those approaches allow you to still share and collaborate on documents, but on a lower, like tier one or tier two. From tier three to tier five onwards, that I guess you have access to all of the different integrations. So you can choose, I guess, which of those drives you want to share from.
Okay, thank you. So the next question by Fadin, this is what I asked, just now. So I think it's
Right.
answered. So you can have different meeting at the same time, but you have to take care about your mic.
Yeah.
Okay, this is a very interesting question.
Okay, yeah. So, I apologize if I butcher your name. But Francis,
Francis.
Francis. So Francis asks, is there any issue with lag and connection because Australia is on the other part of the planet and I am in France? Yeah, great question. So in terms of our server distribution, we store all of the data in a server in Sydney, Australia. But in terms of the meeting itself, we actually host servers around the world. So in terms of if you're in France, you will have a server closer to France as opposed to closer to Australia. So in terms of the issue of lag, you won't experience server or latency lag because there will be a server likely very close to you.
Mhm.
So the server
But
you connect to won't be the server in Australia. It will be the server that is closest to you where you are holding that meeting.
okay, thank you. Eugene is asking, do you have APIs and webhooks?
Okay, great question. So APIs and webhooks are a highly requested feature. It is one of those things that we are working on, but we don't currently offer at the moment.
Okay, good. So the next question by Barry, actually that has been answered, so we'll just skip. Okay, this is the question that I want to ask, but I forgot. What does Kyzon mean, or stand in your naming of your tool?
Yeah, great question. Look, we get this a lot, and it's kind of a funny story, but also slightly of okay. So a lot of people ask, right? How did we come up with the name Kaizen, and what does it mean? What does it stand for? Does it have any special meanings? We have both a funny story and a more of a boring slash truthful story. So the funny and I guess more interesting story is that Kaizen is sounds very similar phonetically to the Japanese word Kaizen, which
Yeah.
means continuous improvement, right? And we really resonate with the idea of Kaizen and of continuous improvement, which is I guess the story we tell as to how our company's name came about. But the, I guess, less interesting story is effectively that we wanted a simple name for our company, and Kaizen.com as a domain was available. So we, I guess, purchased it, and that's how we became Kaizen. But it's
But that's
less of
not
an
bad.
interesting story.
Yeah, and I mean most important is memorable, So I think it's quite memorable.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you.
Okay, next question by Prince Mahmood. Is there a mobile app or mobile browser support?
Yeah, look, honestly, great question. So, in terms of whether there is a mobile app, we currently don't have a native iOS or Android app. But Kyzon Space as a platform works on all major mobile browsers. So you can effectively send the meeting link to anyone, and they don't have to download an application to join the meeting and to have all of the features available except screen sharing. So to clarify, we intentionally didn't want to release a mobile application because we wanted to make our platforms as accessible as possible at the moment. So because of that, a lot of complaints that we see from, I guess, Zoom or like other competitors is that to get like their clients or someone else to join their meeting, they have to download an app. And that has caused a lot of friction with a lot of use cases. So for us, we wanted to avoid that and simply go, okay, we don't have a mobile app, but we're supporting all major mobile browsers. And the only restriction or limitation to that is if you join on mobile, you are not able to screen share. And that is unfortunately a mobile browser limitation as opposed to us purposely limiting the feature.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. So this question has been answered with the server location. So we'll just skip it. Okay, we come back to this whiteboard. So, are you planning to
Yeah,
have a
great.
whiteboard?
Yeah, so great question. So to answer that question is definitely yes. We do have plans to offer a whiteboard feature in the future. Funny story, we actually originally had a whiteboard feature available, but our version was causing performance issues in our meetings. So we had to unfortunately disable it in the meantime.
Mm,
Look, we understand the value of a whiteboard, especially for education or collaboration, and we do want to offer it in the future. But until we can maintain a whiteboard feature that does not affect the, I guess, performance of our meetings, we unfortunately need to like, I guess,
okay, understand. So,
sideline it for now.
okay, so this has been answered about cloud storage services. So we just skip. Okay, this question by Rafael is also answered. Now you can see that what are the specific file type, that we can collaborate.
Yep, so at the moment, the collaboration for file types is limited to Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and also the Google equivalents. So docs, slides, and sheets. And presentations are in PDFs if you want syncing features.
So next
Okay,
question.
awesome. So Francis asks, is there a co-browsing feature? Can I navigate a website in co-browsing mode? Okay, so I would like a bit of clarity in terms of the question. I'm not exactly sure what they are referring to with co-browsing feature.
Yeah,
Um,
maybe.
I, I can take a stab at it. I think Francis is asking whether or not we can share web pages directly in Kyzon Space and have everyone navigate and work, I guess, through a web page live. Based on that understanding, I would like to say that that feature is something that we are currently working on. And yeah, so we're working on providing web page support in terms of sharing through a
Okay.
link in Kyzon Space. But if
Yes.
that's not the question, then please clarify and then we will address it.
Okay. Thank you. This question by Steve Bessler, I think it is answered. So we just skip.
Yep.
Joginda, can we work on old file? We always need to create new files. Yeah, you can always
Yeah,
have
so
old file or new file up to you.
yeah. So you could work so you could share an old file. So you can share an existing file from either your cloud storage drives or directly by uploading to the meeting files, and you can work on that old file slash existing file directly, or you can simply create a new file during the meeting. Either approach works.
You understand this
Okay,
question?
perfect. Yep. So Yulai asks, what happens if you both work at the same time on a file? Thinking of mind maps that are constantly developing, would anyone try to work on a previous stage? Okay, so with all live files that are currently being shared in space, you can see who else is also part of that file. So, for example, if you share a Google document into Kaizen Space meetings, you can see how many other participants are currently active on that Google document, and you can see the live edits. Um, someone, I guess, theoretically outside the meeting can also open up that Google document and make edits in real time as well. So is there a possibility of a conflict? Yes. But I guess we envisioned this not to be too big of a problem because I guess you can probably just coordinate to make sure that if you're in a meeting to not, I guess, conflict on that same file at the same time. But
Okay.
technically, yes.
So let's move faster. We have a lot more questions. So what is the
Sure.
resolution of the video too? I mean, video resolution.
Yep.
Is it the
So the
same with?
recording, yeah, so we record in 1080p. The video resolution is currently it ranges between 360 and 720. So depending on the user's network, we range between 360 and 720. And in terms of the recording, quality, it's 1080p. But your webcams would still be recorded in the resolution based on your network speeds. Yep. So yeah. So it's unlikely so it's impossible you'll get 1080p recording. Can we use LibreOffice document?
Oh,
Yes. Yes. So LibreOffice documents export into docx as well, from our understanding.
mhm. Okay.
Yes. So I'm going to tentatively say yes. Yeah, tentatively yes.
Okay. So next question by Oli. Oh, this is a calendar function, scheduling function.
Yep.
This is good for people who, let's say, for coaching or maybe consultant, for people to book their timing.
Yep. Yeah, so Yulai asks, effectively, is there going to be a booking system or a scheduling feature similar to Calendly coming natively to Kyzon Space as a platform? The answer to that question is most likely. Most likely, look, we don't want to promise any features that currently aren't on our roadmap, but in terms of the usefulness and the impact and value of that feature, it has been requested quite a few times, and we can see the value as well. So it is most likely going to, but as to when, we can't really give a time at the moment.
Thank you. You mean
Okay, great.
pointing means the mouse? You can see the mouse pointer or what?
Yeah, I think Francis is asking whether or not when you're sharing a screen, it's possible to have a cursor pointing to the shared window. So at the moment, okay, so the simple answer to that question is from a screen sharing perspective, I think it's a technical limitation where you can't actually add cursors. It's a browser limitation as opposed to the platform's limitation. That being said, we are working on adding cursor support for our PDF presentations and for future web pages that are shared directly in Kyzon Space. So that's our way of approaching it by working around it. So I guess natively the browser is likely, from my understanding, a no, but we're going to work around that by offering cursor support in our native PDF presentations and in the future web page sharing.
Okay. So I will just skip those questions that is already answered. So I will just skip, so I won't show. So this is the new question.
Great. So how many people work on this project in your team? How do you handle help desk issues for users? Great. So we have a team of 4. We also contract out work in terms of development, design, and other like tasks as they come up if needed. So yeah, so we have a full core team of 4, but we also have, I guess, other people we work with outside of our team on a contractual or like a temporary basis. That being said, though, we handle all help desk issues personally, and we effectively, I guess, we have an internal policy that all support emails get at least a response within 24 hours, and we will look into addressing all support issues, I guess, as soon as possible. So yeah, so in terms of, I guess, support, we have email, live chat, and I guess AppSumo's page, I guess, technically, and a help center.
So this is interesting.
Digital Product One says, can we use this platform to monetize not just for meetings? Maybe if someone wants to see recorded meetings, must pay a fee for accessing the recording. Okay, so in terms of that question, unfortunately, at the moment, we don't have plans to add a paywall or a monetization, I guess, gateway to the access of certain parts of the platform. So I guess okay, so I guess the main question is, are you planning to support paid events in the future? Is probably the use case that I guess Digital Product One is referring to. In that regard, the answer is likely no at this stage. We aren't really looking to support a paid event type flow at this point in time.
Okay, let's move next question. MP4 uploads.
Okay, yeah, so great question. So at the moment, you can upload MP4 files, and you can share them, but unfortunately, they will not be synced at the moment. So like everyone can play the video that is everyone can play the MP4 that has been uploaded, but it would just not be in sync for everyone else.
Okay,
The only synced video is YouTube.
next question. Oh, this is audience. This is more on webinar, no?
Yeah, so okay, so the question is Digital Product One asks, any monetization option during the meeting or sharing link in meeting? So in terms of the only planned monetization option for, I guess, users during the meeting is in the future, when you share a link to a web page, we're looking at ways of supporting people being able to check out during the shared web page. But that is one of those features that require high levels of security, and it's something that we need to actively work through to make sure that we're protecting all of the data, especially financial transaction information, which is why it is something that we are working on, but we don't want to promise in the short term because it is a very technical implementation to make sure
Understand.
that people's financial information are safe.
Okay, let's move to the next question. Notion.
Okay, so Justin asks, I assume since you can also share Notion, you can embed other video sources in Notion and then share playback from there. Okay, so the answer to that question is technically yes, but the way we handle embedded video sources in Notion isn't the best at the moment. So we wouldn't recommend, so we would recommend in terms of embedding video sources to only embed YouTube videos or to share YouTube videos directly. In the future, I think we will have a more comprehensive support of other video sources in Notion, and then it would be a smoother experience. But at the moment, we would restrict Notion use to static images and to text only, and to share video only through YouTube. In the future, we have better support, but at the moment, just to be transparent, it is not the greatest support. So
Okay, so this question is talking about one-to-one message. I mean, private chat, I believe what you mean.
yeah, so great question. The question is, does Kyzon Space offer private one-to-one chats in the meeting? The answer is yes. So to open a private chat with anyone, simply go to the Participants tab, and then you find the user you want to start a private chat with, and then you just click the privately message button, and then you can send them a private message.
Okay, thank you. Okay, this question maybe you just have to recap it so that everybody know what is user versus participant versus live editor.
Yeah, definitely. So Justin asked, what is the difference between a user, a participant, and a live editor? Okay, so a user is effectively someone that can host slash schedule meetings or create new meetings. So that's a user. A participant is anyone who, I guess, joins a meeting without, I guess, being logged in or without, I guess, being associated with I guess, the account. So effectively, participants are people without an email. Users are people who have registered and have an account and can create and schedule meetings. Live editors are just the people who can edit, or the number of people who can edit a document in a meeting.
So this can be controlled by the hoster, right?
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
good.
So who can edit is controlled by the host, and yeah.
Okay, is there a way to customize the link of the meeting room? It's too long.
Yeah, look, great question. At the moment, the answer is no. We don't at the moment have a way of customizing the link of the meeting room yet.
I
We
mean,
may explore this in the future, but at the moment, we don't have plans for it either. But hey, look, we may look into it if enough people ask.
okay. Yeah, I mean, this could be done. Maybe you just do your own short link. That's the way you solve all the problem. Okay, let's go to the
Yeah,
next.
potentially. Like we might look into it maybe, but at the moment, the answer is no. So Shiva Kuma asks, can we send calendar invites like we do in Zoom? Yes. So the answer is yes. You could schedule meetings by, I guess, typing in the recipient's email and then clicking schedule. So just like in Zoom, how you create a new meeting and then you invite people, same process in Kyzon Space. Digital Product One asks, can we share files in meetings to be downloaded for meeting participants? Yes. So effectively, if you want to have the participants download the meeting, like the shared file after the meeting, simply upload the file to meeting files, and everyone, I guess participants, if the host allows, can then download the document after the meeting.
Thank you. Oh, this you get all kind of requirement.
Yeah, so G Vith asks, is it possible to download or record only the audio part? Okay, so we've actually gotten this request in the past as well, and our response then is that we will look into it before our campaign ends. So at the moment, the answer is no at the moment, and we will let everyone know before the campaign ends whether we plan to support a record only audio option.
But
At the
I
moment, we
think
don't know.
if you have a live meeting, then you sometimes it could defeat the purpose because you're going to sharing a lot of screens and documents. So if you only the audio part, then I don't know, it would not be so interactive, you know.
So I guess other people seem to have won it, so we don't know if we're going to support it. We will let everyone know before our campaign ends. So Justin asks, are the participant limits max 200 a business decision or limitation of the tech? It is simply a business decision. Oh, I guess it's yeah. I guess yeah. Look, look. I guess the short answer, a business decision, because in our I guess like okay, so our platform can support at max 600 people right now in terms of like, in terms of technical implementation. We have 600 as a limit. In terms of AppSumo lifetime deals, the max is 200 as a business decision.
Okay. Yeah, I think
Francis asks, is it
this one.
possible to use the meeting room on smartphone? Is the UI responsive? The answer is yes. We support all major mobile browsers. So I guess participants can join the meeting on a smartphone without having to download an application. The UI is responsive on mobile as you would see it in the desktop application, except just designed for mobile. And the only limitation for mobile is you can't screen share.
Okay, thank you. Okay, this is a $1 million question. White label option.
Yeah, look, so in terms of Valentine asks, is there a white label option for the platform? The short answer is no. There is no white label option for the platform. We unfortunately don't have plans for a white label option either. So look, to explain realistically or practically why we don't offer a white label option. So our platform is a video collaboration platform, and because there are a lot of existing competitors on the market, from Zoom, Google Meets to to Microsoft Teams and other players, we need all of the brand recognition and all of the good word of mouth feedback from users to help grow both our business and also the brand recognition to allow people to trust our platforms. If we offered a white label option now, we would be diluting I guess, the trust that is gained through people using our platforms. And because of that, and I guess if we did that, we likely won't ever grow or scale to a position where we could, I guess, become a real genuine, I guess, option for most major businesses.
Yeah, that's why I don't think Google Meet or Zoom or Microsoft will white label their products.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, there's no point, So that's my opinion. Okay, next question by Joginda Singh. Joginda Kumar, sorry.
He asks, can we also share the browser tab during the meeting? Yeah, so this is purely a browser limitation. So, for example, with Chrome, you can share browser, window, or screen. So if you use the screen sharing option on a Chrome browser, you can share the browser window, the browser tab, the browser window, or the screen itself. On Safari, for example, you can only share the screen or the window. So it depends purely on the browser that you're sharing your screen from. But to answer your question, generally, yes. So for example, Chrome, yes, but depending on the browser.
Okay. So this question is not technical, but maybe you look like a Korean. That's why he asked, is the
That,
founder from Korea? K-pop,
yeah,
K-pop.
look, I am not from Korea. I guess ethnically, I think I am from China, so I'm Chinese.
Okay, so
Yes.
next question will be number of recorded video or storage. Yeah. Is there any limitation?
So we don't have a recordings limitation. We only have the limitation of the amount of flow storage that we offer as part of our lifetime deal. So effectively, okay, so a funny story, right? So initially we started off on all of our plans being 10 gigabytes of flow storage as a whole. And then due to user feedback and community feedback, we've now introduced 10 gigabytes of flow storage per user. So for example, if you're on a tier 3 and you have 6 users, you now have access to 60 gigabytes of flow storage. And to answer the question of is there a limitation on number of recorded videos or the storage of videos? So at the moment, all recordings are saved to Kyzon Flow. So the limitation of number of recorded videos is simply the amount of storage you have in Kyzon Flow. Because we know that not everyone wants to use Kyzon Flow, we are currently working on allowing users to choose their default third-party cloud storage drive. So what that means is the user can very soon select Google Drive, OneDrive, or Dropbox as the default location to store their recordings.
Okay,
When that
understood.
becomes available, then I guess the number of recorded videos or storage of those videos depends on the cloud drive of choice and how much storage you have with them.
Okay, thank you. So this is there a way to expel the participant? Yes, definitely.
Yes. Yeah, so you can remove participants from meetings. Yes, by simply going to the participants tab and selecting a remove button or remove option.
Okay, so James, this is the danger of this if they don't give permission. So if some people
Yeah, that's
share
true.
the link, everybody can come in. I mean,
Yeah,
please.
that's fair. Yeah, so the question is, can we share meetings on social media? I think there could be two possible meanings to this question. So the first meaning is, can you share the meeting link on social media? The answer is yes. You can simply share your meeting link anywhere and it will be accepted in, like, I guess, all social media platforms. I think the second question that could potentially be, I guess, asked is, do we do live streaming to social media platforms? Because we've also got the question of, do you support RMTP, which is like, I guess, live streaming to certain social media platforms? At the moment, we do not. So to answer the question is, we don't have live streaming capabilities to social media platforms. Yep.
Yeah. I mean, I have talked to James about this because it. I don't know. You guys still remember the other platform called Teven, Tevent? They are actually like something like a webinar platform. They also do live streaming as well. So, but they close shop after 1 year or so, I believe. So, founder cannot be found. So, founder cannot be found. So, I mean, that's why I always say, concentrate on your core competency rather than, you want everything. Then, if you cannot support it, then everything crumble. So, that's my opinion. Okay, let's move to the next question.
So Valentine asks, is there an easy way to translate the platform in our local language so it will be prepared for our business? Okay, so this is a hard question to really answer. So we have worked with one of our customers to translate our platform to Japanese. To be very transparent, that process was pretty long and arduous for both sides. So I would say that there is no real easy way to translate the platform. If you are okay using a somewhat, I guess, loose translation, each browser typically has an automatic translation feature, but um, from our experience, there are some issues with the automatic translation features that the browser offers.
Okay, thank you. Do you have a plan to integrate with pCloud? pCloud is a cloud storage, so it's very popular LTD. So that's why this question come up.
Right. Yeah, so we've have had a request for a pCloud integration in the past. We are still looking into it, to be very transparent. We look, until something is confirmed to be on our roadmap, we don't like to promise a certain integration. So at the moment, the answer for a plan to integrate pCloud is no, but we are still looking into it. So it's not a definitive no forever, but we don't want to promise anything that currently isn't on our roadmap.
You will laugh at this question. Please read it out.
I see. So Shiva Kumar asks, or I guess states, question from my girlfriend is the founder from Korea. She watches Korean series a lot and is telling me to buy the top tier to support this founder. Look, appreciate the support. Appreciate the kind words from your girlfriend. Look, I think from us, our perspective is actually very simple. Please buy the product if you think you'll find value from it. I think that's probably the best way that we like to kind of present and promote our products, is if you think you will find value from using our platform as your meeting provider of choice, please go ahead and we'd love your support and would love to work with you. Otherwise, look, appreciate the kind words, but we're not typically the ones to ask for charity or donations. Valentin asks, can you add WordPress integrations or REST API? Oh, okay. So in terms of a WordPress integration or REST API, that is something that has not been requested at the moment. So it is something that we would have to look into before we can accurately provide an answer, because we don't actually know what it takes to add a WordPress integration or REST API at the moment. So to avoid promising something that we're unsure of, we would have to get back to Valentine on that question. after we look into what a WordPress integration would look like.
Okay, so maybe this question is interesting. For how do you prevent, lag free, synchronized sharing?
Right. Okay. So DS Wong asks, how does the platform achieve a lag-free and synchronized screen sharing during meetings, especially when multiple users are editing or navigating documents at the same time? Okay. So in terms of document editing, how we prevent a lag-free and synchronized experience is by actually limiting the total number of editors to 10. What we found, and what I guess Google's Workspace has also found, is up to 10 users is typically where, I guess 10 editors is typically where you have the limit of, I guess, collaborative and effective document editing versus it being a bit too chaotic. So just like Google Workspace, we've limited the total number of editors to 10 just to prevent, I guess, a chaotic mess when editing. In terms of how we achieve lag-free and synchronized screen sharing, we have worked really, really hard to optimize our screen sharing to try to provide as good of a performance as the other platforms. So in terms of screen sharing, we actually personally believe we're decently close to the other platforms in terms of performance. That being said, though, with any screen sharing implementation, it does depend on the sharer's network, which is why I guess for us, if the user is planning to share a presentation, we would recommend them to share the presentation through a PDF, through our PDF presentation implementation.
Okay, thank you. Okay, this question by Gala, by Digital One, Product One. His name is actually Gala, Gelar, from Indonesia.
Oh, okay.
Okay, Go Branch is another video kind of a webinar platform or video meeting platform as well.
Right. So the question is, how does Kyzon Space compare with GoBrunch? That's this. Okay. So how does Kyzon Space compare with GoBrunch as a meeting platform? And maybe in the future add interactive meetings for making meetings more fun. Okay, right. So effectively, the question is, how do we compare to GoBrunch? And is there, I guess, any plans to add interactive features to make the meetings more fun? To answer the first question, in all transparency, I guess we also haven't used GoBrunch, so take our comparison with a grain of salt. That being said, from what we've seen with GoBrunch, they seem to take a very novel approach with how they conduct their meetings. They have a more of a realistic, I guess, representation of what a meeting room is supposed to look like, with people sitting around the table. So in terms of how we compare, I guess it's a different style. So we try to cater towards more of a professional and collaborative environment, whereas GoBrunch is very similar to other platforms like Butter, which is focused more on, I guess, engagement and interactivity. So I guess, are a bit more I guess we try to present our platform as simple but still professional enough for most use cases. Whereas I guess GoBunch is more on the interactive, fun, and engaging side of things. So I think that's probably the main difference. In terms of adding interactive features to the meeting itself, we are looking at ways of adding participant reactions as a cute and fun way to interact with other people during the meeting. In terms of when that's available, probably towards the second half of 2025.
Okay, so I think we have two more questions. This is the second last question. Two hosts. Is it possible to have two hosts?
Right, so the question is, can we start a meeting with two hosts at the same time? And if one of the hosts for some reason shuts down, like lack of power or network, we will have a host backup. That's a great question. At the moment, we don't have the support for delegating hosts or for adding additional admins to the meeting. But this is something that I guess now that you've suggested it, we like, I guess on this call, I think it's a great idea. So we'll definitely look into it. So I think, yeah, so I think the answer to that question is no. We don't currently support two hosts in the same meeting, but it sounds like a good feature that we will look into for the future.
Okay, thank you. So yeah, this is the second last. Yeah, Go Branch is entirely different. I don't like the way they do they do the what they call interaction. That's why, but it's just personal, So Justin was saying that I mean, you cannot be
Mm.
everything to anything
Yeah.
to anybody because that will spoil your name, uh,
Yep.
destroy your business model or whatever.
Yeah, I look, we echo the sentiment that Justin has presented, is in the sense that we tried to stick to a more of a professional meeting type environment, and we focus on documents, and I guess that's our core collaborative environment, where it's both professional but still caters to collaboration in the core areas that we find most value, which is documents. And
Okay.
I guess we'll introduce other tools in the future, but that's more for, I guess, productivity purposes rather than engagement and interaction.
Okay,
But
guys,
thank you,
we
Justin.
have come to the end, and this is the last question, and is also uh, encouraging our friend to become a Korean actor. You look like a Korean star, that's why.
um, look, Shiba Kuma, thank you. I am honored by your kind words. Um, but his question is, but yeah,
Okay.
at the moment, we don't have plans. We are focusing on developing the best and most productive video collaboration platform on the market. And that's where our focus is at the moment. But thank you.
Okay, guys. Before we actually go into the what I call this views of name, where we gonna give away. If you don't win this, please buy it. Because you only have 10 more days before this lifetime deal go away. So they will actually leave have some more in 10 days, if I'm not wrong. Okay, so these are the
Yes.
link, and maybe I will just project up the QR code. Okay, this is the one. Okay, this one is on the top left hand corner, Kyzon Space Ltd. Scan the QR code and you can buy it. Okay, guys, let me share my screen for the giveaway. Give me a second. Can you see that? Okay, I believe you all can see that, right? Okay. Let me check whether there is any new participant. Okay, it's all there. Hold on, I have to juggle with a lot of tabs. Okay, guys, we have these 17 entries, so I believe all are here. Maybe some of you never put your name, doesn't matter. So let's do shuffling, sort it out. We're checking repeated names. Okay, I think there's no repeated name. Okay, we're going to spin 3 times here, which is actually first tier. 3 times for first tier. So are you ready? You're ready, then we can go. Shuffle.
Yeah, we're excited.
Muhammad Sumon Islam. Okay,
Congratulations.
maybe let me say something about that because I mean we will not give prizes for people who don't ask any questions. So I have to disqualify you first because I don't see you asking any question, Muhammad, whatever the name, Sumon Islam. So I mean this is our standard procedure. As I say, it's a standard rule. Maybe you do not know. So that's why you can see that why people still asking question. Some people don't ask any question and expect to be rewarded, which we think is not right. So sorry, I have to just tell you upfront. So we'll spin again. Same for Ted Clark. So I also don't see you asking any question. So sorry, I have to remove your name. So let's do again.
Oh no. Oh, I think wait, Albert, there's a few people who have asked
Yes,
that Leonard Lim asked that he can't see his name in the list along with Siva
maybe he
Kumar.
didn't fill out the form. Can you fill out the
Oh,
form? Yeah, he didn't fill out the form.
maybe we should give them a chance to add their name back in.
Now, may I just add your name there? Leon, where? Leonard
Oh,
Lim, right? Yeah, please fill up the form. I mean, sometimes you might not see the form. Leonard Lim. Okay, let's spin.
Also, Albert,
Hmm.
Suman said that he did ask a question.
Where is your question?
Oh, he did. He asked at 1:10 a.m. He asked what cloud storage integrations does Kyzon Space support? He did ask a question.
Okay, so if you ask a question, yeah, maybe I couldn't see. So sorry. So you win that one. Hold on, let me see. So Muhammad Sumon, yes, you will win one. Tech Clark, unless you ask any question before. If not, I mean, I have to remove your name.
Let me
Okay.
just check, just so we're fair.
Yeah, sometimes we can miss, huh?
Yeah, yeah, it does happen, doesn't it? Yeah. Look, there's 150 messages. It's very easy to miss something.
Tech Clark,
Um,
you're on YouTube, you can ask question on YouTube, no problem, right? A lot of people ask from YouTube.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, sorry because I know maybe you're the first time in participating because I haven't seen you in other giveaway or YouTube. So okay, let's move on because I mean this is just a giveaway. If you're lucky, you win. If you're not lucky, take it as a fun place to do something. So don't be stressed out. Okay, let's do the other one. Shuffle. We still got two more questions. Barik, Barik, are you there? I just remove your name first so that if you're there, then we'll award you. Type your name in the chat. Barik, AB Barik. Okay, I see.
oh, there's
Siwa
another person.
Kumar. Okay, let me add your name. Just tell Barik to type his name, or else we'll just proceed to spin. AB Barik,
Yep.
is he there?
Yeah, Barrick asked a question, yes. Oh, I
Yeah,
can't
you're
find
there.
Ted's
Okay.
question.
Okay, no problem. Thank you. Okay, I think my heart is soft. I would just give Ted Clark the prize because maybe he's the first
Yep.
time in our live
Yeah,
stream. So these three guys will get first tier.
so
So James, no problem, right?
works for us. Yeah, works for us, yeah.
Okay, just let me copy the name and then I don't forget it, because sometimes I can forget. Okay, guys, let me spin the second tier two. The fourth prize is tier two, and the last prize is tier three. This is the biggest prize. And for this one, I will use this raffle feature in this wave video. So I will just spin, and let's see how he's who is the lucky winner. I will just spin, and you can see the winner after the spin stop. Okay, I will just tier 2 prize is coming. I will start now. Can you see the drawing? 90% now. 100%. Oh, Francis, congratulations. Francis, are you there? From France? You should be there. I
Yeah, you
mean,
asked quite a lot of questions.
yeah, he asked a lot of very insightful questions. So I'll just wait for him. So I will spin another time using the built-in referral system in this wave video. Spin another time. Okay, let's go. See who's the lucky winner. Oh, coming. Justin, congratulations.
Okay,
So,
nice.
okay, please. Okay, Francis has say he's around. Okay, Justin, I believe you are around. You are from United States, right? Okay, Justin, I'm waiting for you.
Yeah, he should be here. He also asked some great questions.
Okay, so while we are waiting for him, I mean, we give him some time. So, or maybe somebody just ping him. So before we end, I would like to say a few words on this webinar and also from this tool. Okay, so I personally use this tool for the last few sessions with my friends and also with Valentine and also with James, definitely. And I also find that this is something that is also very interesting. It's actually very good for collaboration. If you have a big company, small company, you can use it to collaborate online very fast. So even better than Google Meet, better than Zoom. So as for webinar features, I don't think this is a good tool for webinar because it doesn't design for that. It's not designed for that. So guys, if you find that this is something that you like, and you don't win this giveaway, please buy the system and support our Korean face Chinese actor James, but he's actually from Australia now, right now. Okay, so okay, I see that I think Justin is here. Okay, so we have all the winners. So the winners are actually what's the name? Muhammad Sumon Islam, Ted Clark, and Abi Barek, first tier, and James. No, Justin is a tier 3. Francis is the tier 2. So congratulations. And before we end, I would like to ask our friend from Australia, Sydney, James, to say a few words or anything you want to add to recap or whatever.
Yeah, definitely. I think, yeah, look, I think two words, two quick statements. First, how to redeem the giveaway prizes. I think everyone's probably curious. Is effectively how to redeem it is simply go to our website, sign up for a free trial of any so if sign up for a free trial of the Kyzon Space Professionals plan. And after you sign up for a free trial, send us the email in which you signed up with, and then we will upgrade your account to the prize giveaway that you have won. More information, I guess, will be provided by Albert in a later follow-on post, I'm sure.
Mhm.
Um,
Okay.
I guess in terms of closing remarks, thank you, Albert, for having us on. Really appreciate our time together. It was great fun being on this live with you. Thank you for actually showcasing our products and for actually working with us to make this live happen. In terms of closing remarks, hey, look, thank you for everyone's interest in our platform as well, Kyzon Space. We honestly hope to continue building a video collaboration platform that focuses on making document collaboration better, more productive for everyone. And I guess that's our closing remark. Thank you.
Mhm. Okay, before we close, Francis from France actually say he can help in the France translation if needed. Okay, thank you.
Appreciate it.
Okay,
We'll,
guys,
we'll,
that's
we'll
all.
keep in touch.
Yeah, That's all for tonight, and it's very late in Australia now. So thanks
Yeah, it's
again,
exactly 2 a.m.
2 a.m. Sorry to keeping you up so late, So and thank you to all the audience and also our members. And we'll see you again in the next webinar. See you. Bye bye.
Thank you.